G'day and welcome to another big edition of the RDFNL Footy Show. Thanks to our friends at ONTIME Delivery Solutions. My name's Genji. I'm joined by Tara Murray from the Star Weekly. We've got a big round of matches to go ahead this weekend.
We have. Obviously, we're heading into the second last round of the season. There's still one final spot up for grabs, and those top 5 spots, anyone can finish in any of those positions. So you've also got the 2 bottom sides who are trying to avoid the wooden spoon as well there. There's not much percentage between them. So if one of them get a bonus win, that would definitely upset their apple cart. But yeah, obviously a big round of footy to come.
Let's talk up the probably one of the more intriguing matches of the weekend, involving the Mighty Hawks. Their finals place is on the line this weekend.
Exactly, and obviously they're taking on Rockbank. Woodend would expect to get a win there, and I think everyone would tip Woodend to get a win there, and probably a big win at that. And they just need to make sure they get this win. They probably want a little bit of a percentage boost. I think they do have a better percentage than Romsey at the moment.
14% at the moment.
Yep, obviously I think there's a game between them in the ladder, so obviously Romsey's a game ahead with the 2 rounds remaining, and they've both got very similar draws in the run home. So Woodend just need to make sure they get the win and get a bit of a percentage boost, and then they just have to worry about other results going their way and then worry about what they can do in the final round.
Well, I think for them as well, it's important to try and get a really good solid game together so they can prepare themselves for Riddle the following week.
It is, and obviously I saw them play against Romsey last week and they were pretty good. Tom Carlin, their coach, admitted they probably got ahead of themselves a little bit, and they dropped a couple of matches they shouldn't have dropped. I think obviously the Melton Centrals game was one, the Sunbury Kangaroos one was another, that they were sort of focusing on those games against those bigger teams, and in the end, for a side that hasn't played finals for a number of years, they're in a different situation. They're not used to having to worry about trying to win these matches to make finals, so they got a little bit of ahead of themselves, but then bounced back with a brilliant performance against Romsey, and if they continue that form, then they could be a chance to sneak into that top 6.
Speaking of Romsey, they do take on Riddle. Are the Redbacks a chance to bounce back?
Look, obviously there's a chance. We saw that Romsey upset Macedon a couple of weeks ago. So you look that they have shown at times bits and pieces that they can match it with those best sides, but they have to play their best footy, and that's what Corey O'Sullivan said a few weeks ago. He goes, we can match it with these top sides, we can beat these top sides, but only if we're at the top of our game. If we're 10 to 15% off, we're not going to beat them. And obviously they're playing Romsey, who's the team with the hottest form in the competition. And we saw these 2 teams play last time they played each other, and Riddle could have quite easily won by 100 points. They did have some poor goal kicking that day, and I think Romsey kicked a couple late. So if it's that sort of performance again, it could be a big one, but I think it'll be a little bit closer than that. Romsey, if they get the win this week, that sort of basically seals their finals berth with 1 week to go.
But they're up against the hottest team in the competition in Riddle, who haven't dropped the game in quite a number of weeks. So certainly it's going to be a tough ask for them, especially given that Riddle kicked very accurately and played a good game last week against the Kangaroos. Well,
that's it. The Bombers are winning whether they're kicking accurately or not kicking accurately, and that's the case. So we have seen, hopefully they'll be hoping to continue that better goal kicking in front, that better goal kicking. So if they can do that, then they'll go a long way to get the win. But we're seeing they're getting lots of scoring shots. At times they're having 30 to 40 scoring shots. So if they're getting those many opportunities, you are going to kick the goals and going to get the win, and I think they'll get the win this week.
Melton Centrals take on Rupert's Wood. The Centrals were disappointing by their standards on the weekend.
It is, and we saw these 2 teams probably play each other about a month ago, so not that long ago. And in that one, Melton Centrals sort of took it up to them. The Sharks were 2-3 quarters. I don't think the Sharks played a great game, and they were missing several key players. So obviously this time it's at Arnold's Creek, and we know depending on the winner, Arnold's Creek can be a hard ground to score at, especially at the far end. So it'll be quite interesting. I'm expecting the Sharks to have a good win here. They'll want probably a better performance than the one they put out against Centrals last time. So while Centrals want to bounce back, they had a couple of good performances. Then they had a poor one on the weekend, which did rule them out of finals contention. They're officially out of that now. So it'll be interesting how it goes, but I think Rupert's will be too good.
Exactly. Centrals won't want to finish the season on a disappointing note, given the promise they've already shown throughout the most of the season. Wallen take on Lancefield. Lancefield had a disappointing first half against Rupert's Wood last week, while Wallen coming in off a mighty win over the Boroughs.
Look, it was an important win over the Boroughs. Obviously, the Boroughs and Wallen are 2 sides looking to finish it, try and get a top 3 spot. So top 3, top 2 spot. At the moment, it seems that the Sharks and the Bombers have the top 2 spots sealed up. So it's that 3rd spot where teams are sort of switching around. Obviously, Diggers and Wallen switched positions on the weekend because of that result. I think Wallen has a lot better percentage. I think their percentage was 40% better than Diggers Rest, if I remember correctly. So obviously this could be a percentage booster for them here. They don't necessarily need it, but they want to get back into playing some good form. They've been a little bit inconsistent.
Yep.
Not just from week to week, but also in games. We saw that Diggers Rest were poor in the first half, obviously didn't kick straight, but they levelled the scores in the last quarter after being 39 points down at quarter time. So you've got to see that. They probably want that consistency consistency coming into finals, and that's probably a good opportunity for them to try and find that this week against the Tigers.
Broadford play host to Diggers Rest. Broadford still riding that high of a big win, taking on a Diggers Rest side that is sort of licking their wounds a little bit after a disappointing loss on the weekend. It
is, and look, obviously we talk about Wallen trying to find that consistency. Diggers Rest is probably another side, exact same situation. They need to find that consistency. They've been a little bit within games. I know they took it up to Rupertswood a couple of weeks ago, but one poor quarter cost them there. So it's about that consistency, and we've seen, not just this season, but the last few seasons, every time Diggers Rest plays these lower sides towards the bottom of the table, they bring out some absolute big scores. Wouldn't surprise me Cam McCabe to have a day out in front of goals again. He's had that quite a few times this season, especially against those lower sides, but I'm expecting a big win for Diggers Rest.
Yeah, I won't argue with that one. And the next big game, we've got Macedon and the Sunbury Kangaroos. Can the Kangaroos show a little bit more fight as they try to finish out the season on a strong note?
Look, they've shown bits and pieces during games. They've matched it with some sides for a half, 3/4. Obviously got that upset win against Wood and Heskett a few weeks ago. So it's about making sure that, even I think Macedon early in the season, they were in the game until about half time. So they need to be able to do that for 4/4. They have shown if their guns are firing, like your Corso, you've got Gregory Burgess up forward. Tycuff, I don't know whether he'll be back, but he's another one in that mix. If you have him in the mid for Mitch Strafe, another one. If you get those key guys firing, that's their best chance of getting the win. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case last week. So you sort of need those guys firing. If you get that, that's a good chance. But I think the Cats will get the win, looking to go into the finals in some good form.
And I think for them it's important of how they win as well. If they can really start to, if they can record a really big win, that'll be good for their confidence heading forward.
Exactly, and with that, they're sitting fifth, so they need other results to fall their way if they're going to go up the ladder and get a better shot come finals. Because at the moment you're looking at fourth versus fifth, which it could be either Wongan or Diggers Rest look like they'll be fourth, and Macedon fifth. You've got a match that could quite potentially be a grand final, being an elimination final in that first week of the finals.
Should be a cracking round of football as we count down to the finals, which is just around the corner. Thanks to our friends at OnTime Delivery Solutions. Tara, thanks so much for jumping on board, and we'll catch up with you next week.
Thanks for having me.